Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear brothers and sisters, with the beginning of Ramadan, I would like to send you and your families my sincerest wishes. May this holy month be marked by spiritual revival, deep meditations, and abundant blessings. Today we are discussing a very important topic in Islam, a topic that is underestimated, but we need to talk about it. A virtue is disappearing more and more these days. Calmness allows us to think clearly and act thoughtfully, avoiding impulsive and harmful reactions. It is important to understand that serenity does not mean resignation in the face of injustice, but rather a conscious response. Calmness does not mean submission without reaction, but knowing how to use this virtue consciously. Therefore, we must strive to cultivate serenity in our lives. For this very reason, in this video, we will discuss the 10 lessons of keeping calm as a Muslim. Watch the video to the end and do not listen to the whispers of Satan. Number 1. Understand what makes you angry. The first step to remaining calm as a true Muslim is to understand the roots of one's anger. Many times, even though we are seemingly calm people, we have a trigger that causes us to react uncontrollably. Often, anger stems from unmet expectations, accumulated frustrations, or situations beyond our control. As human beings, we are susceptible to a wide range of emotions, including anger, but what matters is how we handle these emotions following our faith. Rather than reacting impulsively to anger, it is important to reflect on what triggers it and to analyze our emotional responses. Try to reflect on what are the things that make you angry the most. A deep understanding of what makes us angry can help us deal with situations more calmly, identify our weaknesses, and develop strategies for dealing with anger constructively. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "The strong are not those who overcome people by their strength, but the strong are those who control themselves in anger." Everyone finds it easy to react impulsively in times of pressure, but facing these moments with clarity is a virtue that few possess. Understanding what makes us angry means being aware of our emotional triggers and the situations that can set us off. For example, we might notice that we are more likely to get angry when we are tired or when our expectations are not met. Once we become aware of these things, we can interact with these emotions and recognize when they arise so that we can control them. Instead of suppressing your anger, choose to deal with the situation constructively. Before you react impulsively, practice mindfulness and take a few deep breaths to calm your nerves. Focus on your breathing and try to let go of the accumulated tension. In this way, you turn an emotion like anger into a practice. Number 2, delay your reaction. This concept of delaying reaction is based on the idea of pausing before responding or reacting to a situation that might cause anger or irritation. When someone provokes or criticizes us, it is natural to feel immediately irritated or angry. However, acting on these emotions impulsively can lead to harmful reactions. If we were to lose control in public, it would only prove that we are easily influenced by people. Do not misunderstand. There are times when it is necessary to speak up and be respected, moments when the person is putting us down and feeling superior. However, it is always best to keep a stiff and calm tone. For example, if someone insults you, instead of responding immediately with sharp words or impulsive actions, take time to breathe deeply and calm down. Think about why the other person said what he or she said and consider different ways to respond. You have plenty of time to respond, and sometimes not responding is enough. You will make the person feel hypocritical. After some thought, you may decide that the best response is to ignore the insult and not get involved in escalating the conflict. Or you might choose to respond with kindness and compassion, trying to understand the other person's reasons and trying to resolve the situation peacefully. The choice of compassion, however, should not be used in any case. There are people who might take advantage of your goodness without your being aware of it. Number 3, practice gratitude. Gratitude is not just saying thank you or experiencing a fleeting moment of appreciation. No, it goes much deeper than that. Gratitude in its purest form is the cure for any feeling of depression. Gratitude is the very essence of man's relationship with Allah. Imagine that. How can gratitude have a real effect on us? Gratitude is not just a concept, it is a way of life that comes in 3 basic forms: from the heart, from the tongue, and through devotional actions. As the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Beware. There is a piece of flesh in the body. If it becomes good, the whole body becomes good, but if it is ruined, the whole body is ruined, and that is the heart." The heart is not just a physical organ that pumps blood throughout the body. It is the seat of emotions, the place of spirituality, and the compass that guides our actions. Our heart is the link between the physical world and the spiritual world. When our heart is filled with goodness, gratitude, love, compassion, the entire fabric of our being reflects that positivity. When our hearts are polluted with negativity, resentment, envy, arrogance, the darkness spreads like a shadow, casting a pall over our lives. So when we talk about gratitude, we should not overlook its profound effect on the heart. Cultivating gratitude is not simply giving thanks, but cultivating a heart that is receptive to blessings, humble in appreciation, and steadfast in devotion. Think about this for a moment. Have you ever experienced a surge of emotion that seemed to come from deep within your chest? This is your heart speaking. Whether it is a warm feeling of gratitude or fiery anger, the heart has immense power. But how do we know the state of our hearts? One way is to listen to the Quran. Have you ever listened to its verses and felt a deep sense of peace or inspiration? It is a mirror that reflects the condition of our hearts. Gratitude is not just an optional addition to our lives. It is a fundamental obligation. Gratitude is a powerful tool for maintaining calm and serenity in our lives. When we cultivate an attitude of gratitude toward Allah and the blessings He has bestowed upon us, we move closer to an awareness of His presence and mercy in our lives. This awareness brings with it a sense of trust and tranquility, knowing that we are loved and cared for by the One who is the most merciful and the most compassionate. Number 4, accept Allah's plan. Sometimes we do not realize that everything that happens to us is nothing but a plan already laid out by Allah. We often face difficult situations, challenges, and disappointments that make us wonder why this is happening. Accepting Allah's plan is one of the most profound and important lessons we can learn. Understanding that everything that happens in our lives is part of the divine plan helps us to remain calm and trust in Allah, even when things seem to be going wrong. You should know that even when things seem to be going wrong in your eyes, Allah is seeking good for you. He is always on the side of the believer, and if certain things happen to him, it is only to test him. Instead of struggling against circumstances or trying to control every aspect of our lives, we rely on Allah, knowing that He is in complete control of everything that happens. We know that what happens is part of the divine plan, and that Allah will give us the strength and patience to overcome difficulties. This awareness allows us to face adversity calmly and confidently, knowing that Allah is with us. Accepting Allah's plan helps us develop greater gratitude and appreciation for the blessings we have in our lives. There are certainly people who are less fortunate than we are. Just look at the conflicts around the world. When we realize that everything we have is a gift from Allah and that He has a plan for us, we become more aware of the many blessings that surround us every day. This helps us maintain an optimistic outlook even when we face challenges or difficult times. Number 5, change environments. Most of the time, our mood is determined by the environment we are in. If the environment is pleasant, our minds will be healthy. Conversely, if we are in a chaotic, stressful, or negative environment, our mind is more likely to be upset and anxious. The environment around us has a significant impact on our mental and emotional state. As Muslims, we are called to seek inner peace and tranquility, and this includes taking care of the environment in which we live and spend our time. If the environment around us is not conducive to calm and serenity, we must make a conscious effort to change it or adapt to it as best we can. This may mean finding quiet and peaceful places where we can retreat to reflect, pray, or meditate. We can also try to create a positive and harmonious environment in our homes, workplaces, and the communities in which we live by promoting kindness, compassion, and mutual respect. As you may know, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to retreat to the cave and contemplate for hours. He used to go there to devote himself to reflection and prayer. This teaches us the importance of finding moments of silence to connect with Allah. Although not all of us can retreat to a cave, we can still seek out quiet spaces and moments of solitude where we can reflect, pray, and meditate. Seeking inner peace is not a luxury, but a necessity for our mental health. Mental health is even more important than wealth and material possessions. Knowing that a clean environment is part of the deen, we must make sure that our minds are healthy enough to pray with utmost concentration and calm. We can make conscious decisions to limit our exposure to stressful or negative environments. For example, we can try to avoid toxic situations or people who make us uncomfortable, and instead seek out businesses that inspire and encourage us to be our best version. Find a quiet, isolated place. This could be a quiet corner in your home, a nearby park, or even your local mosque. Once you have found this place, create a relaxing atmosphere. Bring a prayer mat or a comfortable cushion to sit on. Begin to contemplate Allah's creation and its beauty. Breathe deeply and let the tension and stress melt away. Number 6, learn to lose. Learning to lose is a valuable lesson that the believer can draw from his or her spiritual journey. It means accepting that life is full of challenges and that we will not always get what we want. However, it is in the moment of defeat that we can find the greatest opportunities for growth and learning. Many people, out of ego, when they find themselves in the wrong, will do anything to prove that they are right. There is no gain in this behavior. Nothing is learned. Learning to lose teaches us humility, patience, and trust in Allah's decree. It reminds us that we are not omnipotent and that we must rely on the divine plan even when things do not go our way. By accepting defeat with grace and dignity, we demonstrate our faith and trust in the good that Allah has in store for us. Instead of letting defeat bring us down, we must use it as an opportunity for growth and rebirth. We must learn from our experiences, adjust our expectations, and seek the good in every situation. Only then can we remain calm and serene, even in the most difficult times of life. Imagine you prepared well for a job interview, but you were not selected. At first, you may feel disappointment and frustration, but instead of letting the negative feelings overwhelm you, you decide to face the situation with calm and dignity. Accept the fact that the decision is not in your hands and that there may be a greater reason for this defeat. Instead of putting your head down and getting depressed, you decide to analyze the reasons for your defeat. You focus on your other opportunities and continue to look for ways to grow personally and professionally. So, you start working twice as hard as others and end up accomplishing even more than you wanted to. You realize that this defeat was not an end, but rather a new beginning. You learned to handle disappointment with grace and to find the good in negative situations. In this way, you remained calm and serene despite the difficulties, demonstrating your inner strength and trust in Allah's will. Number 7, self-reflection. We often like to judge and reflect on others, while it is difficult for us to know ourselves. The practice of self-reflection is essential to remaining calm as a true Muslim. It means taking time to examine one's thoughts, feelings, actions, and goals. This process of self-reflection can be extremely beneficial for several reasons. First, it allows us to develop greater self-awareness. When we are aware of our thoughts and emotions, we are better able to handle stressful situations and daily challenges. This awareness allows us to identify our strengths and weaknesses and to work on them constructively. Second, self-reflection helps us better understand our values and priorities in life. When we are clear about our values, it becomes easier to make decisions on them, which helps to reduce stress and anxiety. Allah's Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "You must have a good character and observe long periods of silence. For the one in whose hand my soul is, no behavior is as good as these two." In this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ invites us to reflect in silence. The practice of reflection enables us to evaluate our actions and their impact on others. We can ask ourselves whether our actions are consistent with our values and whether we are contributing to the well-being of others. Self-reflection can be an opportunity to develop greater gratitude for the blessings in our lives. We realize how fortunate we are, and this helps us maintain a positive perspective, even in difficult situations. Number 8, embrace patience. Patience is a strength in Islam. It implies the ability to endure difficulties, challenges, and adversities with calmness and determination while maintaining composure. One of the main sources of inspiration for the practice of patience in Islam is the Quran, which contains numerous verses calling for patience, including chapter 2, verse 153. "O you who believe, take refuge in patience and prayer. Verily Allah is with those who persevere." The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a living example of patience and perseverance in the face of adversity. He faced numerous hardships during his lifetime, but always remained calm and steadfast, trusting in Allah's will. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born without a father because his father died before his birth. His mother died when he was 6 years old, and he lost his grandfather when he was 8 years old. He went through many calamities when he declared himself a prophet of Allah and invited the polytheists to Allah. They began to harass him and his family. He continued to invite others to Islam, and only 40 people accepted Islam in the first 3 years of his invitation. But he remained patient. The people of Quraysh tortured him in various ways. They called him a magician, a liar, a poet, and so on. They forced him to leave his city, Mecca, and move with his followers to another city, Medina. Think about how difficult it is to leave everything you have. His example teaches us that patience is essential for facing life's trials and receiving divine reward, not just passively enduring difficulties, but actively working to improve one's endurance and perseverance. It helps us remain calm and serene, even in stressful and challenging situations. It enables us to face challenges with confidence and determination, knowing that Allah is with us, and that in the end, all will be well according to His plan. Number 9, learn from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a living example of patience, compassion, tolerance, and wisdom, and his actions and words offer guidance on how to face life's challenges with dignity and faith. Allah chose him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of all people, and he fulfilled his mission as a prophet and messenger to the best of his ability. One of the most important lessons we can learn from the Prophet Muhammad is his ability to remain calm and composed even in the face of the greatest adversity. Despite the many trials and tribulations he faced during his lifetime, the Prophet always remained steadfast in his faith and determination to spread the message of Islam. We have the entire guidance of our Prophet to which we have access every single moment. There are tens of thousands of hadiths to be inspired and learned from. Do not waste such an opportunity. Furthermore, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is an extraordinary example of compassion and tolerance. He taught his followers the importance of treating others with kindness and respect, regardless of differences in religion, ethnicity, or social status. His ability to forgive even those who hurt him is an example of great nobility of spirit and humility. Remember, however, that forgiveness only applies when the person asks for it or when you are in a position of power over him or her. Because sometimes blind forgiveness is a condemnation of ourselves. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also taught us the importance of maintaining an optimistic outlook on life and not letting difficulties bring us down. He exhorted us to believe in the inherent goodness of human beings and to always look for the good in others, even when it seems difficult. Learning from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is crucial to keeping calm as a true Muslim. His actions and words provide us with a model and inspiration to face life's challenges with dignity, faith, and compassion. Number 10. Keep silent. There are times when it is not you, but the person in front of you who loses control. They start insulting and teasing you. The best way out of this situation is simply to remain silent and let his hypocrisy hang in the air. In many situations, silence can be the best response to people who are trying to provoke or create conflict. Instead of reacting impulsively or getting involved in an endless argument, silence can be a powerful tool for maintaining calm. When someone tries to provoke us or start an argument, our silence can often speak louder than words. The ability to control one's emotional response and remain calm can demonstrate a great sense of maturity and self-control. In addition, silence can be a way to avoid fueling conflict and end the situation peacefully. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam often encouraged his followers to avoid unnecessary words and to speak only when necessary. Silence can be an act of devotion and respect to Allah, allowing us to reflect on our actions and seek divine guidance in dealing with difficult situations. Silence can be a way to protect one's dignity and integrity. In some situations, responding with silence may be the best option to avoid falling into the trap of provocation and to maintain one's dignity in front of others. Comment Alhamdulillah if you have reached this point in the video. Never stop seeking knowledge, and may Allah bless you. Ma'asalam.